All right, we are back. Crime Cinema is in the building, and if you click this thinking you were about to have a peaceful little season premiere, wrong neighborhood, because From came back like, hey, remember your comfort? Yeah, delete that. Before we get into it, you already know the routine. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with that one friend who swears they're going to start from this weekend and still hasn't watched episode 1. Now, let's talk about this season premiere. Season 4, episode 1, The Arrival. And the title alone is disrespectful because somebody always arrives in this town and immediately regrets being born. The episode opens with a vibe that screams the rules changed. From didn't do that thing where a show comes back and eases you in with a slow recap and some gentle music. Nope, it picks up like a nightmare that never ended. The premiere is basically dealing with the fallout of the season 3 finale, and it wastes no time reminding you of the biggest problems stacked on top of each other. Fatima's situation isn't just horrifying, it's a message. Boyd is cracking, like real cracking. Julie's story walking isn't a cute mystery anymore. This is a real power with a real price. And the man in the yellow suit is no longer just a scary concept. He's active, he's present, he's moving pieces. And the scariest part, he's moving like someone who's done this before. Smiley is back, and that's not just shock value. That's a warning. One of the first things this episode makes clear is that Smiley returned, the same creature the town thought they actually managed to kill, which means the most hopeful thing the residents had, we can kill them, just got stomped out. This isn't the show being random. This is the show saying, death doesn't work the way you think it does here. And once you accept that, the whole town becomes a loop, not a place, a loop. And think about what that does to the psychology of everyone living there. If you can't permanently win, if every victory reset, then the only thing you can do is survive the cycle. And that reality hits Boyd the hardest. Boyd is unraveling, and it feels like the town is targeting hope itself. Boyd has always been the spine of the town, not because he's perfect, but because he kept moving even when everything told him to give up. This episode shows that reservoir drying out. You can feel Boyd's mental state turning from leader under pressure to man realizing the pressure is infinite. And the show frames it like a system failure. Boyd starts spiraling, counting people, digging up bullets, trying to control what can't be controlled. And it hits different because you realize Boyd isn't just a character. Boyd is structure. If Boyd breaks, the town doesn't just get sad. The town gets dangerous. Because when the person holding the rules together stops believing in the rules, people stop behaving. The Elgin fallout is a ticking time bomb. Another huge piece the premiere is carrying, the fallout from the torture of Elgin. And here's what makes this so important. From is a show that doesn't just scare you with monsters, it scares you with what people become under survival pressure. If the town pushes residents into becoming monsters to survive, and then it traps them anyway, what happens to their morality? What happens to their humanity? Boyd and Sarah crossing that line isn't something you just move on from. This is the kind of action that fractures trust permanently. And trust is the currency of this town. Once it collapses, you're cooked. Jim's death is still in the shadows, and that's terrifying on purpose. Here's what's wild. In the middle of all this, the town still hasn't processed that Jim is dead. That's not a plot hole. That's dread. The audience knows something horrible happened, but the town doesn't yet. So every scene is carrying this unspoken doom. And it matters because Jim didn't die to a random creature. He died because the man in yellow made a point. It wasn't just violence, it was a statement. Then the episode drops a new arrival, and it's classic from misdirection. A car pulls into town and crashes into the police station. Two new people, a pastor unconscious, a young woman named Sophia, shaken but mostly uninjured. And right away, you can tell the show is doing that from thing. Here's a new person. Now, guess whether they're a victim or bait, because new arrivals are never neutral. They're either a burden the town has to carry or a tool the town uses to break everyone. And here's the part that makes this premiere one of the nastiest openers the show has done in a while. Before we even get to the crash, we see the man in yellow digging up a suitcase and changing clothes. That matters because it means he's not just haunting the town, He's infiltrating it. He's disguising himself like he's walking into a party where he already knows the guest list. The reincarnation reveal hangs over everything. The episode also leans on what season 3 revealed. Tabitha and Jade have endured this many times. Reincarnation. Cycles, same pain, different faces. This is huge because it reframes the whole series. It's not just people trapped in a weird place. It's people trapped in a story that repeats. And the premiere uses that concept like gravity. You can feel it in how the man in yellow moves. Like he's seen this play out, like he knows who everyone is, even if they don't know themselves. Julie's ability is getting defined, and it's terrifying. Julie can still pass in and out of hidden areas, this story walking thing. But the show is making it clear it comes with a cost. It's not a superhero power, it's a dangerous privilege. Julie can move through parts of the story, but she can't change what happens. She can only observe if she survives. And that feeds into the episode's core theme. This isn't a story about changing fate. It's a story about understanding the rules of the nightmare you're in. And now the show is basically screaming Ethan has been right the whole time. Ethan has been talking in story logic since the beginning. People brushed it off like kid talk. But this episode doubles down on the idea that Ethan isn't just a character. He's an instruction manual. This place runs on story rules, not physics, not logic, story rules. And if you want to survive, you don't solve it like a puzzle. You read it like a narrative. Victor also becomes more important by association because Victor remembers pieces of what happened before, fragments of earlier cycles. So the show is stacking the deck. Ethan understands the rules. Victor remembers the fragments. Julie can move through the story. And then there's the man in yellow. The man in yellow recognizes Julie, and that changes everything. One of the most chilling lines in the coverage of this premiere is that the man in yellow basically implies he and Julie have met before. That means he remembers her across cycles. He even asks a question that suggests he knows she's moving through time versions of the story. And that is terrifying because it means Julie isn't just exploring. Julie is noticeable. And in Fromville, being noticeable gets you targeted. The twist, Sophia isn't Sophia. Now we get to the cleanest twist of the premiere. Sophia is revealed as the man in yellow. She was never an innocent new arrival. She was the threat wearing a human face. And the pastor, he wasn't her rescuer. He was her delivery system. She causes the crash with a touch, like she's steering the story into the shape she wants. And then she kills the pastor, smothering him like closing a book after you've used the character. And she smiles and talks about how this is her favorite part, which confirms the most terrifying idea. This has happened before, many times. They're not the first group to go through this. They might not even be the most important group. They're just the current cast in a story that keeps repeating. And if that doesn't make your skin crawl, you're stronger than me. So what is the arrival really about? This premiere isn't just new season, new problem. This episode is the show telling you the man in yellow is the central villain now and he can shapeshift and infiltrate. The cycle is real. Death isn't permanent. Victory isn't permanent. Void is breaking, and if the town feeds on hope, void breaking is catastrophic. The kids and the weird characters are the ones with access to the real rules. The story is not about escaping by force. It's about understanding the story you're stuck inside. And that's why this premiere is so effective. It doesn't give answers, but it clarifies the threat. The threat isn't just the creatures anymore. The threat is the author. The town is written. The suffering is scripted. And someone or something is enjoying the show. My crying cinema take, this premiere was nasty in the best way. It didn't rely on cheap jumps. It relied on inevitability. That feeling that no matter what the characters do, the story is already told. And if that's the direction we're going, season 4 is about to be a psychological beatdown. Because when you remove hope, fear becomes permanent. And that's what the arrival is doing. It's killing hope. Question for the comment section. Who do you think is the real key to breaking the cycle? A, Ethan, B, Julie, C, Victor, D, Boyd, E, Tabitha plus Jade, reincarnation duo. Drop a letter. No essays. If you want me to keep breaking down the season episode by episode, hit like, subscribe, and share this with your fellow Fromville survivors. Crying Cinema out.